One good trade. Let's talk about it today in Card Chats with Robert. Hi guys, this is Robert Rivera with the Rivera Trading Group in association with Train Trading Academy. Today I want to talk about one good trade. This is a class I did last night for our team, and there's a couple of specific things that I want to cover on that. And that is, focusing on pips or making money initially when you're learning how to trade. It is basically setting yourself up for failure because you are, we are built for certainty in a world that wants things to be for sure. And when we come to the trading platform, we're working with probability. So basically it's an exercise in frustration because you're asking yourself to do something that you just can't do just yet. Okay? Trying to improve performance, or I should say, trying to focus your attention on performance or results when you're trying to acquire a skill. It's just an exercise in frustration. There is no way that you can anticipate or expect results when you're just learning a skill. I compared it to a baby, right? That's not yet crawling. Someone expecting them to run a 100-yard dash. It's just not going to happen. Okay, it doesn't matter what your expectations are for that child as far as the results that you want to get from that baby. That baby's not going to be able to produce those results because they don't have the skill set yet. And we know that when we look at a baby, but somehow we ignore that when we come into the markets and we're brand new. So to try to catch pips or try to catch money when you don't yet know how to trade, it is the wrong approach. A better approach would be to focus on one good trade. That is making a plan for trading and following your plan. And you do that over and over and over until you have enough data to see what your results are. Once you have your results, then you will know how your strategy is doing, how your approach is doing, how what is it that you need to tweak, what is it that you need to fix. Once you have enough data, now you know. And then once you become consistent in getting specific results, then you can go for the pips and then you can go for the money. It just doesn't make any sense, again, to try to get a baby to run when he can't even crawl yet, okay? And I'm going to talk about that as an example last night and what happened on the trade last night. Let's talk about it. So this is the setup as I had it last night, and GBP USD has been just going up and up and up and up, right? It's actually reached a new high here since 2018. It hasn't been this high. Now, I've thrown a trend line on it. That's an outer trend line. The lower trend line is from the 4-hour. The inner trend line is from the 1 hour. And we see how price is rejecting at this area, okay? It has not been able to climb that area. And in fact, it has already come down and touched the trend line once. Okay, basically at this point, I'm already biased towards a sell. Okay, I could still wait and see if it's going to bounce from the trend line and see if it's going to break to the top side. But at this point, I'm already sell biased because of the star candle configuration, where it stopped, already the extension of it. And if I look down, let me see if I have it here. The stochastic RSI is also pointing to the downside. So it's a good indication that this thing is going to sell. So now we're waiting for it, right? And again, in accordance with the one good trade, what I'm looking here to do is to set my stop loss at the very top of this structure and take this to the next zone. The next zone is way down below breaking structure. You're going to be able to see it here when it hits TP in just a minute. So this is what happened following. You can see from here where the structure is that I was looking at, looking left. I'm looking at all those consolidated candles there, and I'm thinking, okay, it's going to break at least that. It's going to come to the support of that, and I can catch my win there. So the setup was to be with the stop loss right at the very top and then take profit at that support. And you can tell how far that broke even beyond that for 61 pips. It was a very, very clean move. Now, I know that some people had a hard time when that green candle reversed, right, and kind of eliminated the whole drop from the trend line. But all the price did was come back and retest the trend line. It never came anywhere close to the stop loss, and then it dropped after that, which again goes to the point of setting up your stop loss at structure. That's another conversation that I'm having with my students, right? It's difficult for a brand new trader to watch a trade go 15, 20 pips against them. But if the structure is holding, there is no reason to panic. In this case, if you took the break of the trend line, you were in drawdown 8 pips. That's it. And then it dropped hard for all those pips. If you took it at the bottom of support, then you were 17 pips in drawdown, and still it gave out almost 50 pips from there. So there was no reason to panic. And if you only have one trade to put out, like if you know that you're not going to be able to take another trade tonight, that this is it, then you will leave your trade alone and you will let it do what it's supposed to do. And in this case, again, price never came back to your stop loss area, and in fact it provided a very strong win, after which you could have moved your stop loss into profit and never worried about it. So these are my results from last night. Basically, I took the break of the trend line, and it retraced on me and took me out for 67.50. And as soon as I saw that it was rejecting, once again, I went ahead and put the next position for a total of 372. Again, this took all of like 15 minutes. Okay, that took all about 15 minutes, and it's how can I say it paid a whole lot more pips than this, guys. I mean, obviously, I took only like 17 pips. That was it. It paid a whole lot more pips than this. But I'd rather just go ahead and take my $300, go to sleep, get a good night rest, than be up all night and wait for it to break at 7 o'clock in the morning the next day. Okay, so on my one good trade, basically I executed my plan. I had a plan. I executed my plan. I closed the trade when it hit my take profit, and that was it. Okay, that's it. There's nothing else to do. You come back the next day and you do it all over again. If you stay in the markets long enough, the market is going to take your money. So we don't do that. Welcome back. So my point about one good trade is that if we focus all of our attention on just doing a trade the right way, and we only take the approach that we only have this one trade to do, we don't have many, right? If you take the mindset that you have many, then you'll play with you'll sell when it's trying to sell, you'll buy when it's trying to buy, and you go back and forth, just giving your money to the broker and losing money. Okay, if you take the approach that you only have one trade to play out, okay, where is your stop loss? Where's structure telling you that the stop loss should be? You put your stop loss there. Okay, where's the take profit based on what structure is telling you? That's where it's supposed to go. Okay, do you get your signal for sell? Yes, it broke the trend line. That's my signal. Boom, I'm in. That's it. You leave it alone. Stop loss, take profit, leave it alone. If you're playing it from the zones, this is for my classmates or my teammates, because they know what I'm talking about here. If you're playing it from the zone, okay, and it goes to break out, it breaks out the zone, all right, and you enter for your sell, in this case like last night, all right, set your stop loss, set your take profit, and leave it alone. Okay, if you only have one trade, you're gonna leave it alone. Now you'll already know that if a 15-minute candle comes back inside and closes, I'm out. Last night that would have been like 3 pips if I would have done that. Okay, but if you leave it alone, right, based on structure, if you only have one trade and you leave it at structure, then you got paid all those pips last night and you never were in any trouble whatsoever. Okay, again, this is Robert Rivera with the Rivera Trading Group in association with Trading Academy. I hope that you're receiving value from what you're seeing. God bless you.